let's take you back to Thursday morning. Thursday morning, you had to turn your son over to the authorities. Tell me what that was like.
It was heartbreaking. We were all, obviously devastated, so that was the plan for the day, and just complete devastation for our family is what that was.
And then you got a 56-second phone call from your supervisor at work.
Correct.
When was that, and what did they say?
That was early afternoon. We were coming back home, and I had missed a phone call, and I was returning it. And up until that point, I had full support of my company. So I had no, reason not to call him back. And when I called, he answered, said hello. And he said, "How are you doing?" My direct supervisor, "How are you doing?" I said, "Well, I've had better days, but we're okay right now." And he said, "Well, I just want to let you know we're terminating our relationship with you." And I said, "Why? What happened?" And he said, "I can't tell you any further." That was.
I can't tell you any further.
Nothing any further.
Okay, so wait a minute. You are a human resources director at Equity
Correct.
Prime Mortgage, right?
Correct.
So are you the boss of the human resources department?
Yes.
As the director? Have you ever had that happen before? Had you ever said, "I can't tell you why I'm firing you" to somebody at your place?
No, I had not, and never before anywhere have I ever just told someone, "We're firing you, goodbye."
And so what did you say when they said, "Well, we can't tell you"?
I just said, well, I knew he wasn't going to tell me any further. So at that point, I just said, "Well, what about my belongings in my office?" And he said, "Well, you can come pick them up. We'll leave them downstairs with security, or we can ship them to you." I said, "Well, please just ship them to me. I don't really want to be in Atlanta right now." So that was it. And 56 seconds, and he hung up.
And then how did you find out that they were saying that you were creating a hostile work environment?
I was notified that they had put a statement on their company website, is how I was notified. It's there now. If you pull up the company website, everything's been taken down except this extremely hurtful statement about me that's on there. It's embarrassing, and it's hurtful, and it's just false. I'm not aware of anything I've done to this company. Except, I was, like I said, up until they fired me, it was my belief that I had their full support. So this has just it's a false statement that I've done anything, but it's so hurtful.
So, I mean, you're in charge of HR, and you and I both know that unless you did something grievous that was a fireable offense, creating a hostile work environment would be something that you would usually sit somebody down and say, "Hey, what's going on? You've been a good employee. Then this is happening. What's happening in your life? What's going on?" And you don't fire somebody and they're surprised by a charge like that. Do they? Do you?
Not typically. I know Georgia is an at-will state. Right to work state.
Right.
I get that, but typically you can't fire someone for an illegal reason. But they haven't told me anything. I have no knowledge of anything that I've done. And since when I left work on Friday the 12th, everything was great. And I haven't been back to the office yet, so I'm not sure what I did to create a hostile work environment. They won't tell me anything.
Is it possible that your hostile work environment was caused just by your presence because of your son?
That is a possibility. But again, I can't confirm or deny. They just haven't told me anything. So, it's just kind of strange timing. But that it goes along with all of this with Garrett. But like I said, right now it's just this horrible statement is on their website about me, and it's false. It's just completely false.
So, Melissa, what do you want from them, or what do you think should happen?
Well, honestly, I haven't really gotten that far yet. I'm still trying to take it all in. We've had, so much going on this past week that I don't want this focus taken away from Garrett, but I don't want this focus taken away from this movement that we're trying to continue with the law enforcement across this nation. This is their chance and for this movement that's going on now, and I want to see that continue. So I don't, as bad as it is, what's happened to me, I don't want it to take that focus away from what's so much more important right now, and that's our son, but it's this nation right now.
How come you haven't been? Most people would be silent. They would learn their lesson. Their son is facing jail time. You've lost your job. It's happening all over the country where people are losing their jobs because they did or didn't say one thing in particular. Why weren't you scared into silence?
I wasn't scared into silence because that's not what's right. It's time that we stood up and stood up against what we believe is wrong. And the war that's on the police officers right now is wrong. And we have to stand up. And if it costs me a job to fight for my son, then so be it. But, as a mama, I'm going to fight for my children. And that's just the way it is. And I believe most people feel the same way I do.
Your son ever been accused of being a racist? I mean, more than what everybody, because they're white, has been accused of now. Has your son ever been accused of being a racist or had any of these problems in the past?
Not that I've ever heard. Garrett is a wonderful young man. He's so kind-hearted. He's extremely intelligent. He's the kind that, no matter what you need, he's there for you. He's just a wonderful person, and he just loves everybody. So not that I've ever heard.
So, Melissa, when you look at the police, I can't imagine why they're still on the job. I really can't. When you look at what's happening to the police in Atlanta and everywhere in the nation, there are bad police officers, but the majority of them are good. Just like there are bad doctors, majority of them are good. Mm-hmm. When you see what is going on and you see how they're being treated in Atlanta, would you tell your son to go back to work if he was cleared of this?
That's a tough one. That's a tough question. My heart would tell me no. I don't want him to go back into a line of work like that, but he loves it. He loves the job. As most police officers that we've talked to, they love the job, and so if he chose to go back into it, we would definitely support him if that's what he wanted to do. But again, my heart would tell me try to talk him out of it. The employer that you have, Equity Prime Mortgage, has 23 fundamentals that they say that they operate on. Mm-hmm. And when they rebranded recently, they put these fundamentals out. Were they really drumming these fundamentals in your head at the place? Absolutely. They're on all their social media sites, and we're expected to live by them. And yes.
All right. So let me just give you some of them. Practice blameless problem solving. Do you think they did that?
No. I think they failed miserably on all 23 counts.
Yeah. Do the right thing always. Honor commitments. Speak with courage. Show sincere appreciation. Listen generously. Share the best information. Choose positivity. Be proud of our appearance. Show you care. Get the details right. Always be evolving. Oh, that's an interesting one. And demonstrate empathy. Have they empathized with you?
They started to for the first few days, and then who knows what happened, but no, Like I said, when they got tested on those fundamentals, they caved and failed.
And how is your relationship with the rest of the community? What kind of feedback are you getting from them?
The
Are you
support
guys
we're getting from
safe?
Yes, we the support has been absolutely incredible. We've heard from people all over the world showing support, and we've heard from Australia, Egypt, Scotland, Russia as of this morning. We've heard from all over the world, people just wanting to offer prayers and thoughts of, for what's going on, and not just with the situation in Atlanta, but for our country. So, it's just been overwhelming and so wonderful that it's humbling, really, is what it is, to see how many people came out in support of law enforcement.
Do you have enough money for really good attorneys? And how are you faring on all of this? Now you've lost your job. Your son needs the best attorneys. How are you guys faring on this?
Well, the defense fund for Garrett has grown. Just people have been so wonderful to donate, and that's what's important. I'm not worried about myself. I will figure out something. Somewhere I'll get a job. That's not even important right now. This has got to be. It's just so much bigger than me. I'm just not worried about myself right now. So, but Garrett's defense fund is secured, and so we're just thankful that so many people were willing to reach out, and so many people are sending cards and letters and just want to say, we're thinking of you, we're praying for you, and that means so much to Garrett as well.
So the defense is being done by Georgia Law Enforcement Organization. You can find out how you can get involved at georgialeo.org, georgialeo.org, and that is where he is being defended, and you can find more on the story. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, Melissa. I appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck.